Hey, welcome. Welcome to Alpo Show, the human spirit experiment. Happy New Year, everybody. This is the year of the tiger. By the way, I think we're going to have to get some tiger in us in order to make it through this year. Today's a special day. We're going to be talking about it 1-5. So glad that you're here. So glad that you want to get better, because that's what it's all about. I really want you to know how excited I am today. I have my first guest, the one I've been trying to get on for a long time, Miss Amanda Darling, great DJ, world traveler, and I would say probably my greatest student who's learned more about Sophia than pretty much anybody other than me. So we're really happy. We met a long time ago when she was first DJing. So I'm real excited about having her here. Have you decided on your New Year's resolution? I hope you're training. I hope you're getting ready to get in the best physical health that you can possibly be. But now here, we're going to be talking about your spiritual health as well as your spiritual wealth. So let us begin. Here we go here. All right. So happy New Year again. Is it same as last year? Today's date is 1/5/2022, January 5th, 2022. Now, the pandemic began March 11th, 2020. And today, it's 666 days since the beginning of the official pandemic. 666, as we know, some people put it in all kinds of different perspectives, and it doesn't mean something. If you study gematria is the decoding of numbers. So the pandemic began March 11, 2020. Today is January 5th. And as you might not know this, but today 5G began. The 5G network took control over all the communication. Computer in gematria equals 666. Internet equals 666. Vaccination equals 666. In gematria, mandatory equals 666. And the HR 6666, the contact tracing bill, which how they'll be able to trace us. So where are we today? Well, right now, we want to talk about the gateways to wisdom from Mother Sophia. This day, this year, this time, right now is when we must become an adult of our spirit. Okay, this is the beginning. These are the gateways to wisdom. They come in it's going to be in a 10-part series. We are beginning the 4th part. First was I'm an adult. This is all about this, the 10 parts of how I am going to be an adult. Number 1, our spirit. We've already gone into this. We will always continue to go on this. Number 2, an adult of my mind, an adult of my thought, an adult of my emotions, which we will be discussing at length today, an adult of my actions, an adult of my body, an adult of my love, an adult of my surroundings, an adult of my relationships. And finally, after doing all these things, we become an adult of our decisions. Now, today we're going to be talking about emotions. And I'm going to bring Amanda in here now. Hello, Amanda.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing really good. I want to thank you for being on the show. It is its own risky event because we'll be talking about things that most people aren't talking to. But I really want to. You're a young lady who's been around the world, who's grown up in the technology, was brought up in the technology, brought up in the internet. And this old geezer here, I didn't even know what the internet was and couldn't spell it till the 90s. So So today we're going to be talking about emotions, Amanda. And so I would like to throw some phrases out to you, and I'd like to know where you were from, from where you came from to where you are today. Okay, let's first start about this. When we first started talking, it was, "Are you ruled by your emotions?"
So, thank you again for having me on the show. I am so excited to be a part of this and sharing these gateways of wisdom with the viewers so that everybody can just unlock their, inner strength and become the adult of your life. So, to answer your question, I would say, you met me about 5 years ago, and I was a little bit younger back then. And I think that we struggle more with our emotions when we're younger, of course. But some people never really learn to become the ruler of their own emotions. And through your help and also through my own journey of self discovery and
You
self
mean hard work?
hard work, yeah, hard work of, all of these different things are connected. Being the adult of my mind, getting up at sunrise and going to the gym, and please subscribe to my channel. It's called Sunrise Club. So my whole philosophy is being in that sunrise mentality of taking control of your life, getting up early, saying yes to life, going to the gym. But to answer your question, years ago, struggled a lot more with my emotions. And of course, being a woman, we tend to go with emotions first and then logic second. Of course, women are and can be extremely logical and are equally as intelligent as men, but it's extremely difficult, especially when you're a young woman. I think a lot of ladies out there watching this can relate, or at certain points during the month, to be the adult of your emotions. So, thank you. I guess it was really a big change in my life when I finally realized that I could become the adult of my emotions, and I realized that I didn't have to be a victim of these feelings because I'm a very loving and very just a very sentient, open-hearted person. So when I would feel like I was in love with someone or betrayed by someone or hurt by something, I would just burst into tears. And doing that kind of behavior in public is not helpful, and it changes the way people perceive you. And even privately, you need to take control of your mind. And so, through these gateways of wisdom and your assistance, yeah, like I said, I have become the adult of my emotions. I've improved in a huge way. I know you've noticed it. And it's not only better for me and my well being, because a spiritual master is someone who's calm. And so it benefits not only me, but others to be this way. I'm still working on it, of course. But I guess when I was younger, I mistakenly thought that if I was really emotional, that was a good thing. That it made me interesting, or it made me more appealing somehow. But I realized later that if it's a positive thing, then I love to be joyous and exuberant and all that. But when we're feeling negative emotions, you should still feel them, but there's a way to channel that. I keep a diary. I go to the gym. I lift weight. I confide in a close friend. But just having these outbursts or emotional breakdowns, we want to overcome that. So thank you for your help, and please share with the viewers some of the things that you told me in those moments of how to take back the reins and get in control.
Yes, this is a great, thank you. This is a great segue here. So, questions I ask people is, are you fooled by your emotions? Are you a slave to your emotions? Does the government rule your emotions? And so at the end of the day is, are you an adult of your emotions? And so these are the challenges that I suggested, or we were able to put it in some type of a box to really kind of understand how your emotions can rule you. Now, generally speaking, we say women are more emotional because they're more loving, but that's not necessarily all the way true. Okay, and so these are the things of bringing us, first of all, examining ourselves, right, Amanda? I mean, I think of anything, what's happened over these years is the ability that you learned how to go outside of your surroundings and look at yourself from the outside looking in. Would you say that was kind of a helpful thing, or how do you relate to that?
So yeah, the first step towards self-realization is you have to see things as they are. That means sober up. If you're on any kind of, if you can, safely, just get off any kind of meds, get a clear mind, start drinking more water, and look at with a clear head, no, no drinking for a while, and just look at yourself and analyze where you're at. Because I think a lot of us kind of live our whole lives under this veil of illusion, and we never really look in the mirror. And as you suggested to me, go look in the mirror, look at yourself and say, I love you. We're starting from this place where we're at right now. I've got you. You're my best friend. And we're going to start walking toward the gateways of wisdom. And it doesn't matter where you're at, because we're all on the spiritual path. Even if you don't know you're on the spiritual path, we are all actually on this earth to discover who we are spiritually. So even if you feel like you haven't been the adult of your emotions in the past, or that you've made a lot of mistakes, it's okay. Just take that first step forward. Don't worry. Just one step and then the next. So yeah, I think that becoming the adult of your emotions, it has to be a conscious effort where you really have to be honest with yourself, and you have to realize no one's ever going to do it for you. There's not a certain alcoholic drink that's going to cure you of that emotion. There's not a friend that you can call and cry to who's going to fix it for you. Eventually, you're going to have to stop and go, you know what? I am not acting like an adult right now. And there are more healthy ways to channel those emotions. And when you are a calm person, that is how you get the respect of others, and you earn your own self-respect.
I know that one of the first things I'm going to, Amanda, because we've talked so many times, Amanda knows these principles I've been saying to her. And the first one was, and you brought it up, do you love yourself? Because if you want to get, first of all, you want to get in touch with your emotions, you want to get in control of your emotions, well, you have to get in control of the love, where your love is going. So I always, the first thing that anytime I talk to anyone, I ask them, could you look in the mirror and say 100 times, all the way through sincerity, I love you. Okay. And most people, and I'm not kidding you, almost everyone can say, oh, yeah, I've done it. Okay. I want to, you go do it. And you have to do it. And I've done it 1,000 times in the mirror. 1,000. I don't have to do it like I used to do it, but it is the beginning. To learn to love is the beginning of wisdom. And what is love about? Love is your spirit. And so it's also about creating a new standard. So this is what this is about. It's about a new standard. Something that's never literally been done, although these standards have been with us since the beginning of creation, mother's creation. So now let's go look at this little thing right here I have. Natural law. Okay, so another word is spiritual law. What is the correct way if you want to say it's based in truth? Okay, so we look down the bottom and it says, do not initiate harm. Love, the first spiritual and only spiritual law. Some say it's a spiritual law. We're a spiritual channel. So mother's spiritual law is do no harm to sentient beings. Now we've talking about humans, but we also are talking about animals. So we're going to go into that, but this is one of Amanda's our greatest passions. It's do no harm to nobody. It just doesn't apply to human beings. So it's the same old do no harm has always been here. But what has happened? Well, we gave over to what? The government. Government. Governmental. Governmental. That's what the government is. It governs our mental. If you live in this world right now, we are on an emotional roller coaster. Every day, there's something major that happens. So we don't take the time to actually look at ourselves. And this is one of the most important things that, you know, we've had to learn, and where we're going to be growing from. Now, Amanda, I can't help but ask you, because you just came from Crete in Europe, and you saw a country completely different than ours. Can you explain a little bit on what your experience was with Crete and how it added to your spiritual armor?
Absolutely. I plan to return to Crete as soon as possible. It's my favorite place in the world that I've traveled to, and I've been to 16 countries so far. Um, excuse me. You know, one thing I noticed is that as an American woman born here in the United States and having lived in California my whole life, except for a year I lived in South America. But anyway, I feel like a lot of Americans, we have this mistaken worldview that we're just the best country out there and everybody is trying to be like us, and that we're kind of infallible. But it was actually Abe Lincoln who said, you know, if America crumbles, it will not be from a foreign invader. It will be because of mistakes we're making within our own society and an internal decaying. And I'm paraphrasing, but it really opened my eyes being on the island of Crete, because and I love my country and I love the United States, and that's why I bring this up. But you know, we don't do everything better than other countries. For instance, I saw no homeless people in Crete, none. I saw people outside more. I saw people spending time together, talking, not on their phones as much. People weren't watching TV as much. Almost everyone I met was completely bilingual, completely fluent in at least two languages. And just there was my favorite thing I noticed about the people of Crete is that they really uphold that biblical teaching that says if a man asks you to go 1 mile with him, go with him 2, which was one of the teachings of Jesus. And that's exactly the way their culture is. If you ask them for something, they will not only do it, but they will do this and this and this for you, and they want to help you. It's a genuine thing, and it really warmed my heart. I felt more of a humanity was brought back into my existence. There was I'm not saying everybody there is perfect or anything like that, and there are people in the United States who are incredible people, but I guess it was just eye-opening to discover a culture that was a lot more ancient than ours. And I do think that in America sometimes we are a bit precocious and we think that we have everything all figured out. But I see some warning signs, and so it's good to talk about those things on this show and relating it back to being the adult of your emotions. Just I feel like there's a toughness that we've kind of lost as Americans, that we need to be a bit more accountable for the way we behave, and not blame everything on mental illness. I mean, I know that mental illness is real. I have dealt with my own struggles from time to time with depression, and it's a real thing, and I have compassion for. But another thing I noticed over there was it wasn't like everyone I met had a mental illness or a reason why they can't do this, I can't do that, because I have PTSD or I have ADHD or I'm on this med or that. It's not so much like that over there. And there's more of a toughness that I think we need to come back to.
Well, one of the things I want to add is I know one of the reasons is, and we talked about this over the phone, the country's thousands of years old, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So the heritage of, say, someone on Crete.
It's about 5,000 years.
Yeah, 5,000 years. We're not even 5 bills yet. Okay, guys?
If you go back
All
to
right?
the ancient Crete, yeah.
Yes. So if you go all the way back, so it is in the people's DNA. Okay? Because it's like, let's just say racism is in our DNA. Okay? People are taught to be racist here. All right? They have been around for so long that they don't have to prove anything. You see, what we're doing right now as a country is we feel we have something to prove. All right.
Right. The Greeks already did all these mistakes a long time ago. They used to have slavery, but way, way before we did, and they already tried to conquer the world way, way before that we did. So
Right.
we should look at history and learn from that.
So I want to get back here to where you brought up Jesus, and there were some great things done in his life, and a lot of the things was taken out of context as these books that came out from him. Basically,
Not from him, but from people who wrote
yes,
about
not from him, but
it.
from
Yeah,
what
I know you
twisting his words and everything
know
like that.
that.
And
Right.
really, what it turned into was a religion. Okay, and so this is all back then. This is all kind of changed in the 15th century, by the way. Religion became an insurance policy. Religion actually is, instead of being taking responsibility, like what we're doing here right now with the 10 principles of Sophia, of taking your responsibility, you depended on someone else to tell you what to do. And with that said, you pay your tithe. And so now you're guaranteed to go to heaven. Okay. So that actually was the first insurance policy. And so now here's where we're at is government is an insurance policy. We have let the government, remember, government of mental of our own minds. Okay. And so what is all this turned us into? That everything is complicated. It's complicated. I got attention deficit disorder. I got CPTSD. I don't have an education. I'm broke. No one loves me. On and on and on and on, making excuses for what you are supposed to be, and that is a great spiritual being. So, Mother wants to make this simple and yet powerful. And so, I think that if all of us were fortunate enough, this is why I'm so happy that you're on the show, Amanda, because you're well traveled. You've been outside of the United States. As a matter of fact, you're getting ready to move back over there. And so that's drawing you back to a place of old as well as new, because it's not here. It's not here. So okay, so when you came back, no, you left, you came back, and the pandemic was still going on. So between the time that you left, Amanda, all right, and then the time you were there, then when you came back, what was some of the real changes that you saw in the difference in the United States?
Yeah, I've noticed since the pandemic began, I've noticed something that I've quite a few things I find alarming. One of them is with the mask wearing, I noticed there is a real lack of manners. And I already saw that declining, but I've noticed that people with the mask on, they're almost more like a troll online. It's kind of like you can't see who I am, so I don't need to be nice, I don't need to smile, I don't need to be cordial. If I bump into you, there's no need to say excuse me. I just pretend like I don't even see you. And I'm worried about that. I think that we need to be aware of how dangerous that is as a society, to lose cordiality and manners and decorum. You know, we need to maintain those things. I've noticed that, of course, just the amount of government control, it continues to increase, and that's not the government's job to rule over every part of our lives. I mean, obviously, in a health crisis, yes, sometimes the government should be involved to give us guidance, not mandates. A mandate is basically a forced law that we didn't vote on. So I see these things, and I see gross violations of the Constitution, of our privacy rights, and I guess I'm starting to speak up about it because it's gotten so out of hand. I mean, as an artist, I try to stay neutral, but when you stand idly by when evil is taking place, you are a part of and an instrument to that evil. So we have to discuss these things. We need to not comply with things that I don't feel are right. I mean, when the pandemic began, I was um, kind of tricked into thinking the vaccine, and I don't even know if we're allowed to talk about that on the show, but I was kind of tricked into thinking that by taking this jab, I would be that would be it, and we would be able to move forward. And I think a lot of us were tricked into that. And as I see it progress more and more, I see it going in a direction that I'm not comfortable with, because I personally am a really healthy person. I don't take medication of any kind. I'm completely healthy, so I don't think it's right for anyone to force me to be taking medications. I think that should always be my choice. And so yeah, I'm concerned about where it's going, but it's like this all over the world. In Greece as well, they're doing the vaccine. Everyone, oh, there, I said it again. It's also so much censorship these days. So I see the world changing a lot from the 80s when I was a kid, and it does worry me. There are great things happening too. I'm not a pessimist. There's amazing innovations that are helping us all, but I think we need to course correct and bring spirituality back into this world.
Well, I really appreciate your insight on this. I know we got to wind up here in just a little bit. I really, really would love to have you come back on the show. There's so many things that I want to address with you. Number one, we've talked about going into training. And I know that one of the things that you've helped me with is my own personal health. And, reminding me of being plant-based and, and being in training. And you're in great shape. I've seen you perform. You're jumping up and down for 2 hours. I have no idea how you can do that, but you can do that. So I really would like to bring you back on here to talk about some of those things, and we'll keep sending people to your new YouTube channel that you're getting ready to do. So with the time set here, I just got a couple more minutes here. I'd just like for you to, from the spiritual woman's perspective, on what advice that you would give a woman who just is lost, so to speak, and where's a good place for them to begin?
I think, yes, so many people are lost right now, especially women. And as we will go into on subsequent episodes of the show, because the Bible was edited and manipulated in such a way that they basically tried to take the Holy Spirit out of it, make her into a side character, change her into a him, and deny her importance. I mean, she's still in there. I mean, every single miracle that Jesus ever performed was through the Holy Spirit, but we never get to learn of the Holy Spirit's name being Sophia, or that she's God's wife. So that's really the greater work behind my music, is to remind women of this, and that we should be questioning these things. I mean, even if you're not a Christian, the Bible, the founding fathers were all Christian, and they were, I believe, almost all of them were Protestant. Anyway, they really did put the fundamental beliefs of the Bible and their religion into the Constitution, and it is a big part of our society. So we can't ignore this. When we talk about questioning things like the Bible, it can be very controversial. But I say, if I'm not the one to question it, if we're not questioning it, that's dangerous too, because we should look at this sacred text, which contains a lot of great information that still applies today. But there's parts of it that we know were translated incorrectly, or translated by people who had an agenda. And for me, the Garden of Eden story as well has been manipulated to make women look like we are the kind of the downfall of man. And I can't sit here and accept this anymore. It's hurt me spiritually, and it puts women second place. And I think even if we don't know it consciously, there is a subconscious programming from the moment we're born into this society, which is really worldwide, that almost all around the world, the Bible is affecting billions of people and their beliefs. So, and I think we should take the good and leave the rest, as you like to say, and continue to explore this. But to awaken a woman's spirituality, my message for you, because I know we gotta go pretty soon here, is I have good news for you. You are a part of God. You are a part of the Trinity, because guess what? Holy Spirit is female, and she's the divine mother, and this information will not be held secret anymore. We will tell this good news, and It's just completely transformed my life. So just know, women, and for the men too, this is going to heal us all, because the divine is a beautiful, perfect yin yang of love between the feminine and the masculine. That's what created everything. And I guess we should leave on that beautiful note, because is there anything more beautiful to imagine than that? And that's what I want to come back to, is the sacred love between us all, but especially between men and women, with complete respect and equality in this world.
Well, Amanda is going to be on her show tonight. Is tonight at 8 o'clock Pacific, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And so if you, she does a great show. She is a performing artist and she does a great show. So check her out on Twitch, and you will have not seen a performance till you see Amanda Darling. She's played at the top clubs, Avalon in Los Angeles. And so she's and a great writer. She's got an album coming out and she's already been charted. And I just want to thank you, Amanda, for coming in. I will see you on the other side, okay? Love you.
See you soon.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you for coming in. Listen, everybody. We're the ones who got to make the change. It starts by being an adult of your spirit and an adult of your mind, your imagination, your thoughts. Stick with me. Stick with me. I'm going to get you there. This is the message of Sophia. I will see you. I will see you another time. I will see you on the other side. This is Alpough Show, the Human Spirit Experiment, signing off.